subscribers, lurkers, fellow MGTOW brothers, and all free-thinking red pill men. My name is Neo I Believe. This is my MGTOW channel, and today I'm going to explore a little bit of conspiracy theory. No, I won't bore you with any "they're all coming after us" mentality or anything. Instead, this video will tell a short story of mine, and then we'll proceed to further discuss theories and connections. Let us begin. So several weeks ago, I went into my local big chain department store, and I immediately went to the electronics department just to browse through the CDs to see what interests me. When I looked at the vast amount of different CDs on the rack, a series of CDs stood out to me as I noticed that they all had a very similar album cover. Now granted, I don't keep up with the new and latest albums of today, since most of my favorite musicians are either dead or have retired from producing studio albums altogether. And I hardly if ever go shopping in general. What specifically stood out about these album covers that I saw was not so much the album art, or lack thereof, depending on your perspective, but the symbols these album covers had. I immediately saw a strange recurring symbol of the Roman numeral 5, the letter V, over and over in these random CD covers. Similarly, I began to notice a symbol of the Roman numeral 10, the letter X, just the same. It got me thinking of all the imagery we are likely to see in our everyday lives that we just don't recognize. I took pictures of each of these CD covers and then decided to research them online. All of these albums were released in 2013 or 2014, and for the record, none of this music appeals to my ears. Rather, something appealed to my sixth sense. Like any series of symbols in Hollywood's notorious music industry, I immediately thought there would be a connection between this and the Illuminati. I researched a little about the Freemasons and stumbled upon their infamous logo, the compass ruler thingy with the letter G in the middle. What does the G stand for, I wondered? The most popular belief is that the G stands for geometry, the mathematical science. Other widely accepted interpretations are that the G stands for God, which reminds the Masons that God is at the center of Freemasonry. Lastly, it's believed that the G could stand for Great Architect of the Universe, whatever you make of that. First, I didn't draw an immediate connection from the Roman numerals 5 and 10 to the Freemason symbol. Then I thought maybe the G symbolizes the 7th letter of the alphabet, 7 as in the 7 different symbols which make up all of Roman numerals. And there we see V, which is 5, and X, which is 10. Now, let's take a look at these albums, one by one, shall we? First album we have is called Classics, by a band called She and Him. I will try my hardest not to rip on these bands, but let me say that this has got to be one mangina band for a name like She and Him. Like she's wearing the pants in this relationship or something. She and him. Right away I made an outline of the red Roman numeral 5. Was it intentional? Was it accident? Well, another interesting fact is that this album, Classics as they called it, is their 5th studio album. And finally, let's bring up the Freemasons logo to make a comparison between the V shape and the obvious shape of the ruler, which makes a V. Let's look at the next album, which is Listen, by the DJ known as David Guetta. I never knew that the French could make crappy electronica music until this guy came around. Anyway, this album is from 2014, and immediately we see red Roman numeral 5s creating the V and A's in his name, followed by the red G for that matter. Easy connection to the Freemasons logo here. It makes you wonder why they used upside down V's to create the letter A's. But there you have it. The next one uses both the Roman numeral 5 as well as X, the number 10. As I had previously mentioned, This is a compilation album from 2014 called Shady 15. 15 written in obvious Roman numerals, again with the red 5 on the mask. Let's trace the symbols, and we get the ruler and the cross between the ruler and compass as it is shown on the screen. Interesting tidbit, this compilation album is the 15th project in the history of the Shady Records label. Also, it marks the 15th anniversary of the company altogether. Up next we have some One Direction clone bullshit called 5 Seconds of Summer, with their self-titled debut and hopefully final album. Right away we see the letter X crossing them out, and we also see the number 5 above, written in tally marks. What's interesting is that these tally marks kind of merge together to form the letter V in a way, or the Roman numeral 5 rather. And of course the backdrop of this is the color red. The nickname of this band and album is called 5SOS, like Save Our Souls. Let's look at another one. Here we have a girl band called Fifth Harmony with their debut EP, Where Have All the Good Men Gone? Oops, I mean Better Together. Their album is called Better Together, from 2013. Again, the backdrop is red, and of course their name is Fifth Harmony. Even for a conspiracy, this is starting to raise questions as what the hidden message of all this could be. Let's flip this album around and look at the back cover. Well, okay, we have 5 members in this group, granted. Fifth Harmony, 5 members, and 5 tracks on this album. That's a 5-5-5 deal you can't refuse. Domino's Pizza is probably gonna sue somebody here. After a little research, it turns out that the band's original name was not Fifth Harmony, it was LYLAS, a shitty acronym for Love You Like a Sister. That didn't work out, so they later changed their name to 1432. With names this bad, I hope none of these bitches have a child. And 1432 is the equivalent of 10 when we add them all together. Next, let's look at a new band called The Vamps, with their album Meet the Vamps. Honestly, from the cover, I thought these guys were going to be some retro rock and rollers with an edgy underground punk flair. So I listened to them, and it's just One Direction Disney Channel pussy shit. Anyway, the big obnoxious red V, or 5, is what called my attention. Anyway, let's flip this CD over and take a look at the back. Lo and behold, we have a total of 15 tracks on this album. As you already know, the Roman numerals X and 5 make 15. Also, the release date for this album was interesting. April 15th. 4/15. 415. Well, 415 is the equivalent of 10 when we add it all together. The next is a single called Champion by a group called 5 Men. Maybe 5 Men. I don't really know how they say it. Well, I don't know who these guys are, but honestly, they strike me as a talented band. There's kind of a MGTOW-ish vibe about their presentation. I'm just assuming. Anyway, we clearly see the red letter V, the 5, and how many members in this group? 5 members. Maybe the burger joint 5 Guys will sue these 5 guys, who knows. And of course we have the comparison to the Freemasons logo. Let's take a look at another album here. It's Maroon 5 with their album 5. How about that? Well, this goes without saying. The big fucking red V in the middle of the album. This is also their 5th studio album. Let's take a look at another. This 2014 album is from Chris Brown. It's called X. Okay, how about that? Right away, we see the Roman numeral symbol for 10. Even though this is his 6th studio album, according to the research. But let's make a connection between this and the Freemasons logo. There we have it. Well, I must say I'm an amateur conspiracy theorist, and I don't have any passion to push forward in this particular field. This video was just a fun adventure to get your minds thinking. If you've noticed any symbolism with 5 and 10 or even 15, now that we are in 2015, then please share and comment below. Whatever connection these symbols have, perhaps it's a warning that something huge is supposed to occur in 2015. My journey into MGTOW as a man going my own way has been amplified in a way that I now see life with a broad perspective. This can happen at any age. When you take the red pill and fully accept your own capacity to banish evil, you're able to seek knowledge in places you never thought you'd venture. It's the most enlightening feeling in the world. So, if you have also noticed symbols like the ones in this video, and you want to discuss the deeper meaning, feel free. I look forward to making more videos as a higher power, bigger than myself, guides me through the incredible journey of the awakened man. Thank you, and believe.